Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second session of the STEM webinar series organized by the School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing, Informatics and Media UiTM Malaysia, co-organized by the Agency for Presidential Education Institutions, Uzbekistan, and Malaysian Mathematical Sciences Society, as known as PERSAMA. I am Nura Natasha, a master student from UiTM. I will be responsible for hosting today's webinar session. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, this webinar is broadcast live through Webex and our official YouTube channel, School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing, Informatics and Media UiTM Malaysia. All participants are very much welcome to ask any questions to the speaker through the Webex chat panel and also in the YouTube comment section. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. I will collect and address them during the Q&A session at the end of the talk. A gentle reminder to all participants, we will have a group photo session after the talk, so please be prepared for the session. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me to introduce our honorable speaker today, Mr. Muhammad Shafiq Muhammad Sulaiman, a physics teacher from one of the well-known boarding schools in Malaysia, Mara College, Mara Junior Science College, Kuala Kelawang. He holds a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in physics from the University of Auckland, New Zealand, and he has 10 years of teaching experience, not only in the Malaysian curriculum, but also in the Cambridge and International Baccalaureate programs. Mr. Muhammad Shafiq will be presenting a talk entitled Awesome Physics Around Us. Without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Muhammad Shafiq. Mr. Muhammad Shafiq, the floor is all yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very good. I think it's evening or afternoon over there. Have a good day. My name is Shafiq. Thank you, Miss Natasha, our moderator today. And to all participants, first and foremost, I would like to thank the School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing, Informatics and Media, and the Agency for Presidential Education Institutions of Uzbekistan, and Malaysian Mathematical Sciences Society, PERSAMA. Thanks a lot for inviting me as one of the speakers this series, as well as known as the STEM webinar series. Not to forget I think my beloved principal, Datin Moliza Alis. I believe she is watching. My colleagues, friends, students. I will start presenting I will share my screen. So I will not be able to see you guys. So I'm hopefully you guys can interrupt me during my session so that I can tell whether you guys are following my points or not. So I'm really okay if you want to ask questions during my session. I really welcome that. Okay, so I will share my screen. So you guys can see my screen. Natasha, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, how about now?
Okay.
All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So it's really hard for me to choose one of the topics in physics only. So I will take a general topic, which is awesome physics around us. Physics is really awesome, so I think the title really suits the session. Okay, so currently I'm working in Mara Junior Science College, Kuala Kelawang, Negeri Sembilan, Malaysia. So the two logos on the right is my employer Mara and my school logo. Okay. So if just in case I say MRSM, that means that is my school. Okay. So before I start, I really want to say that my session is really not from me. I mean, what I mean is, um, I really learn a lot from my colleagues. Many of them are much better as a teacher than me. Okay, so what I share is what I have learned from my mentor and colleagues. Um, and it's actually, to be honest, most of the science teachers are practicing the same teaching method that I will share. So what I will share really is about what Malaysia education philosophy. So in our education philosophy, education is ongoing effort for teachers and for students. It is a never-ending process. We want to further develop individual potential. Okay, so we want it to be harmony and balance in terms of intellectual, spiritual, emotional, and physical. The general aims are for us to build a knowledgeable, competent, high moral standard civilians. We wish our student will contribute not only to his or her family but to the society and to the nation, to the whole world. We believe so. So before I start, I really want the students to know that you guys are facing 21st century learning. It's really it's really 180-degree different from traditional school. So you guys must be globally aware. You guys really have to communicate among you and also with the teacher. You really have to solve problem. You cannot sit on your table and just answering question. You need to be critically and collaborate with others. Okay, so these are few learner profile that students should have. So we teacher will develop you not only to understand physics or science, biology, maths, English or any language, but we actually indirectly and directly are preparing you guys, the students, to face what's the future. The future is actually now. Okay, so a little bit about myself. So when we travel abroad, so we take picture, jumping picture and silly things like this. So I think uh forgive me for if the picture is inappropriate. So Alhamdulillah, Mara sponsored me to study at the University of Auckland. So I did my master in physics, and also during my degree I able to do double major in physics and applied math. Uh, I also did international baccalaureate diploma, which make me uh, really really passionate to face 21st century learning, because in IB diploma, student is we want to build a whole rounder students. So how did I start as how did I fall in love with physics? Actually, when I was in secondary school, I thought my most favorite subject is biology. But this is what happened. So when in my secondary school, I have one physics teacher. His name is Mr. Lim Eng Hua. After 20 years, I can still remember his name. Okay, so my physics class always start after lunch hour. During lunch hour, 1 hour rest. We need to complete our lunch, do Zuhur prayer and things like that. Have a nap. So I always come late to class. Because of that, Mr. Lim and Hua always smack my hand with the meter ruler. You know, one of the essential tools in laboratory is meter ruler. So what happened? After so many times, one day he asked me, "Do you know why I hit you with the ruler?" You know, he is actually a very serious person. And when suddenly he asked me that question, what else can I do other than shrugging my shoulder? Because I really don't know. I thought it's just a punishment for me for being late to class. And he continued that actually why he smacked me with the ruler because of Newton's third law. Okay, so in physics, one of very essential law is Newton's. So we have three Newton's law. The third law says that if we apply a force, the same force will be applied to us. So if he smack me with his bare hand, I will feel hurt. But at the same time, the same force is applied. So his hand will hurt as well. That is why he said, I smack you with the ruler so that his hand will not be hurt. Okay? After 20 years, I can still remember this dialogue. So, as a teacher, as currently I'm being a teacher, it really touched me that physics really explain everything that happened in our life. So, teaching physics is really fun. Studying physics is really fun because we can relate whatever happen in our daily life, we can relate to physics. Okay, so I hope you guys can remember one of the most important law in physics, which is Newton third law. I always tell my students Newton third law is about what you give you get back, because whatever force you apply, you will feel the same force. So what you give you get back. It's really important thing in our life. If we don't give, we don't get anything back. Alright, so what you give, you get back. That is the Newton's third law of motion. So for example, if you are standing on the boat and you want to push forward to the platform, actually you are pushing the boat to the back. That's why you will feel like you are falling into the sea. Okay, and for example, magnet. When we have two magnets, which magnet are pushing which magnet? Okay, so actually when you push something, the thing also push you back. So that means there are always two opponent. Okay, right? So from this experience, I really take a good care in teaching, which I always remember that whatever I teach, I must create a memory for student to remember. Because in physics, we have a lot of equations, a lot of definitions, a lot of calculations. So if students didn't create a memory, didn't have a good experience in their lesson, in their class, it is very highly possibly that the student will forget what they learn in a short term. Okay, so one of the important thing, they have to do what they learn. We call it learning by doing, or we call it experiential learning. So we have, the teacher need to connect the theories and the knowledge from the class to the real world situation. So that's why physics is so awesome, because physics is relating all world experience. There is a physics explanation. Okay, for example, the person in the image is diving into the water, so we can see that the trajectory is a quadratic equation. Okay, so that is one of the example how we relate the equation to the real world situation. So far, you guys are following me? Or am I talking too fast? Can I get some reflection or?
No, it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
It's okay.
Right? Okay. So the next slide is one of the activity that I did for Form 1. Form 1 is their age is about 12 to 13 years old. So one of the first classes in physics, we teach them how to use fundamental instrument like meter ruler, stopwatch, what else? Ticker tape. So what I did is
3. Three.
so I did a um, airplane paper competition. So as you guys can see on the road, there is a meter tape. So in these competitions, students need to design their own airplane and they are competing which airplane travel the furthest. Okay. There is another video where the same method but students are competing which airplane travel the longest on air. So what I so not only they learn how to use the meter tape, they have create a memory that oh I win or I win against my best friend. Okay, so we can clearly see their expression. Although it is a simple task, just creating an airplane and then throwing it, but memory are being created. They remember the laughter. They remember their, whether satisfaction. Okay. Uh, we can watch it again. I really like these guys because I love their expression.
3. 3.
Okay. My second point is about preparing students for IR 4.0. Um, so in this example, I will use my teaching example in classical motion topic. Okay. So what is IR 4.0? So this is a global thing. But it's really surprising that most of my students not really aware of this. So I think this is a good opportunity for me to maybe reintroduce to our teenager out there that right now we are facing industrial 4.0. Okay, so it is expected to change how we live, how we work, how we communicate. So it's really likely to change things that we value. Um, and it's really about data. Okay, as we can see in the picture, Industrial 1.1, 1.0 is really about how people can, start to use machine. And in 2.0, our industry, how we produce thing in an ample. Okay, and then 3.0 automation. Okay, so teaching physics makes me feel responsible to prepare our future generation for industrial 4.0. So in studying motion, we introduce them a software name tracker. Okay, so I will show you the video how the software can prepare students for IR 4.0 because using the software, students can collect a very accurate data. It is automatic and it can be used to so many future development. Okay. Okay. I will move the video a bit slower. Um, as you guys can watch, actually in the video, I explain very quickly because this video is actually we create this video to enter innovation competition. So we have to conclude a video in less than 3 minutes. Okay. So actually in the video, it mentioned that actually in physics form 4 and form 5, which means the students age are around 15 to 17 years old, they actually need to understand this instrument is called photo gate. Okay, so when the trolley go through this photo gate, it detects the time it cross this first photo gate, and then it check or measure the time difference between the first photo gate and the second photo gate. Okay, so this is automatic enough, but students still need to do um, a manual calculation. Okay, at the end of this trolley, there is actually a ticker tape. That is the traditional measurement. Okay, so from the ticker tape over here at the back of the trolley, students need to cut bit by bit and then rearrange the tape to to make a graph. Okay, so that is in the syllabus. Only two methods to measure or to experimentally analyze the motion of the trolley. However, to prepare students for IR 4.0, so we introduce them a software named Tracker. It's developed by University Pendidikan Sultan Idris in Perak, so that students can further analyze. Students can relate the equation, key in the equation, for example, equation for kinetic energy, equation for explosion, so that the computer will analyze the data automatically. So let's see how whether students uh, can follow the tracker or not. So I introduced the software to students, and not only that, the students then we do a pop quiz using Kahoot. So Kahoot is one of the instrument that we use to assess the students. Okay, so here is the compilation. Okay, so during this process, I book a computer lab for students so that they can use the computer to analyze the software by themselves or in a group of two. Okay, so here are the graph that being created by the software. Here is displacement against time. Here is the projectile, the displacements. Here is the displacement against time as well. Okay. And so for this topic, I was teaching them momentum. So there are three types of collision, which are elastic, inelastic, and explosion. So of course, students like the explosive things. Okay, that's why the lesson is interesting. Here are the graphs that being created. Okay. If you guys are familiar with Kahoot, so by using Kahoot, students on the computer, on students' computer, the screen will just show you the answer option, but the question and the answer is on the screen in front. So because of that, students are really competitive. If they find the question is very small on the screen, they will really run to the front so that they can see the question and the answer clearly. Okay.
Okay, so you just start saying question. But right now, we just mention and one plus and two. So we make sure we fill in all the so initially.
So during this lesson, because using Kahoot, I can stop and continue the game at any time I want. So I rearrange the question so that it, for example, the difficulties is increasing in order, or the topic is arranged so that I can stop and play the or resume the game accordingly, so that I can stop in the middle and give explanation, and maybe the next question will be the same question so that I can tell from my previous explanation whether the students understand or not. If the next question many of the students got it right, that means my explanation works. And if not, I can just I can re-explain in maybe in a different way.
So we have 2, 10.
Okay, so during this session, not only I pair the students, every student got one mentor and one mentee. So every student is paired with one good students and maybe one need to improve. Okay, so that they can collaborate, because you know, when we teacher, only one teacher in a group of 40 or 30 students, so good students are our teacher best friend. So, and students prefer to ask their friend more than to ask teacher in front for so many reasons. Okay, so by using this activity, not only I can stop and resume the game, I can also receive help from the mentor. We can see on the screen that there are computers that already answer the question and a lot of computer not yet answer the question. So by using this instrument, students can answer the question using their own pace. Some students are very quick, some students need time. That's okay.
Makeup? So? Az gapirganmi? Oh, yoqda.
So, in Kahoot also, at the end of the session, there is automatic questionnaire whether the student is satisfied or not with the session. So, it's really a good instrument for teachers to develop their lesson planning. Okay. So, for the students, I'm not sure the listener our participants age. So in motion there are a lot of equations, there are a lot of definition, there are a lot of situation that needs to be applied. So the equations really need to be understood. I mean, for example, the equation up here, s equal to d over t. That means speed is equal to distance over time. And the second equation, a is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity over time. Okay, so equation actually give us the definition. Okay, for example, acceleration a is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity over time. This gives us the definition of acceleration, which is the rate of change of velocity. Okay, so I read, because in Malaysia, sometimes, a lot of time actually, students are asked, what is the definition of this? What is the definition of that? Students tend to, remember word by word, and then they start with, oh, what is the next word? What is the next word? They cannot remember everything. So, from a very simple equation, if they can create the sentence, they actually don't have to remember the definition word by word. And my third point is, if the students remember the equation, if the students understand the equation by heart, they actually don't have to remember the physical units. Whether, for example, many of the students keep confusing whether what is the unit for velocity? Is it meter per second or is it meter per second per second? They keep changing with the unit for acceleration. But if they put the equation, if they put the unit in the equation, they will automatically get the physical unit for the whatever they are calculated. Okay, and by using the tracker software, if they know the equation, for example, the tracker software only automatically use the moving object, but from the data they can reanalyze the, for example, kinetic energy, gravitational potential energy, impulsive force, So by using the software that I introduced earlier, students can analyze a lot of things. Okay. For example, in the video I show you, I use, we call it firecracker. So the students really understand why same mass of object will have same speed but opposite direction. Okay. Okay. So in fact, 90% of today's data produced in last 3 years. We have 100,000 years of history, but 90% of world data produced in last 3 years. So data is really important. So students, you really need to realize this. Okay, so data is really something very important in Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, I finished my second part. Is everything okay? Are there any question? If not, I will proceed. All right.
Sorry, there's a question on the chat box.
Sorry, I really cannot see the chat box. If Natasha can read it for me.
Okay, the question is from Kakai Wasula. Which is the correct order? Definition to equation or equation to definition?
Okay. So, in textbook, many of physics textbook that I have read, I believe there are a lot more books out there. The book will start with definition and then equation. But students tends to remember the definition word by word. Okay. So, my tips for my students are, you remember the equation only, and then you create the definition from the equation. Okay, so for example, the second equation here, we have A equal to VF minus VI over T. Okay, I will write down. Okay, I will write. I hope you guys can see my screen. You guys can see my Microsoft Word, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the equation is A is equal to VF minus VI over T. Okay, so I teach my students to recreate the definition from the equation. So we see on the numerator is a minus sign. That means something is changing. What is changing? The velocity. Okay, and then the changing is every 1 second. Every 1 second, because the denominator means something's at the denominator is always 1. Okay, so the definition of acceleration is, if I directly recreate word by word, is how velocity change every 1 second. Okay, that is not the definition created in the written in the textbook, but this definition is not wrong at all. Okay, the definition in textbooks might be the rate of change of velocity. Okay, that means the exact same thing. Okay, so that's why I ask my students to understand the equation, because from the equation you can rebuild the sentence rather than you try to remember the definition word by word. Okay, so that's, yep. Thank you so much for asking question. Okay. So my third part of this sharing session, This is, for me, this is really a sharing session. It's not really just from me to you. I'm really not the best person for this. I'm just sharing whatever I've learned from my, mentor colleagues. They are really many other people better than me. Okay. My third point is about differentiation in class. Okay. One of the challenge for teachers are, we are the only person in class that we need to teach maybe 30 or 40 students in front of us. And every one of them are not the same. There are no one size to fit them all. Okay. So we need, our approach need to be, unique for every one of them. Okay. So for example, for this topic, I will use my lesson when I was teaching them light. Okay. Light really is, because I'm doing my master in optic. And very interestingly, my professor that teach me is a colorblind person. So a colorblind teaching about colors. Okay. So studying light is very interesting because we very quite many times we are actually being, being light through what we see. Okay. So by understanding light, I can give a lot of example of that how we see things is in many times not how the world actually is. For example, in light scattering. Okay, that is one of the example that I will use. Okay.
My name is.
So in this first video, this guy, one of the, because in Malaysian syllabus, one of the topic that we are teaching is kaleidoscope. Okay, so it is a individual project to build their own kaleidoscope. Okay, so this guy is explaining how he built the kaleidoscope. Okay, I hope you guys can listen to what he say and compare it to the second video.
From class 1 Al-Biruni. My PT number is 2211001. Today I want to present to you my kaleidoscope. First one is a process. The process I do is I cut the box into this size and I sellotape to form a triangle shape, and then I wrap the triangle shape with the gift wrap. Second is a function. The function is when you see in the scope, the light will enter the telescope and reflect to the eye, and you can see what is reflected.
Okay, I will play the second video. You guys okay with the video or is it stuck? Yeah, I will play the second video. If it is stuck, I can send the video in the email, for example, if you really want to watch it.
We need 2 pieces of plain mirror, a box, super glue. The last one is knife. So let's do it. First, we need to cut a side of the upper and lower board to fit the width of the mirror. So you can cut it with a knife. And place the mirrors facing each other. After put the mirrors, we need to make 2 holes, hole 1 and hole 2, exactly opposite each mirror. And it's done!
Okay, if you guys notice, the first video is from a boy and the second video is from a girl. The first video showing that the boy is just talking directly and explaining, just a simple video, no editing at all. But the second video, this girl is actually a shy girl, but she tries her best to produce a video, you know, just a personal on view video, but he is okay. So as a teacher, I can tell that this girl is a shy girl, but she got good language and she can actually explain how to build the periscope. That's okay, that is enough for the lesson. And for the boy, I can tell that he is actually a quite confident person to be in front of camera. The voice is clearly enough. So in addition to teaching physics, I also teach them how to communicate what they learn. Okay, that is very important. Okay, so how so I develop the confidence level tiny bit by bit. So for example, in this video, how I try to make sure all of my students are not you know, embarrassed or ashamed to be in front of videos, because nowadays you cannot avoid from being recorded. Okay, so you must use videos so that we can spread the knowledge. Okay, so in this example, I record them to choose one animal. Okay, to choose one animal, so they need to, you know, react as you know, to act as one to their chosen animal. So this is 12 or 13 years old students. You know, these two students, number one and number two, both of them are really a quiet students at during form 1, but by the time they are form 3, and you know, 2 years in the 2 years after that, these two guys becoming the, you know, the girl become a dancer and the boy become one of the student leader. Okay, so as a teacher we can really see how they improve.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Apa ni? Frog. Atas lantai Atas lantai.
Okay, so that is just one of the example, a very quick example how I want them to not be embarrassed in front of videos. Okay, because the task next is for them to create their own video.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone.
Assalamualaikum and good morning.
Okay, so in this first video, I want the task is for them to explain how can the sky appear blue in the afternoon and appear red or yellowish in the evening. Okay, they are in the same class. The instruction they receive are the same, but their videos are different. Okay, so we watch the first video.
My name is Mia Alicia from 1AR. So today, I want to explain to you how the sky turns blue during the day and turns red during the sunset. The sky turns blue and red because of the scattering of light in the atmosphere. So, our atmosphere have tiny particles of nitrogen and oxygen. So, when the 7 colors passes through the atmosphere, it hits the nitrogen and oxygen particles.
Okay, in the beginning, this girl just sent me a, you know, a raw video with she only talking, and then I asked her to edit the video to put some of the images. So for example, here she put the image of the air particle in the sky. Okay, So that shows that when we as a teacher facilitate, we advise them what can they do to make their task, to make their products better. Okay, so the second video at the bottom is from a boy named Zikri. This guy is really a quiet person in class, but we can tell from the video as well, he is not appearing in the video, but he just used the, I think this one is a online game, so he just edit the online game to explaining the same thing like scattering.
Hey everyone, my name is Mohammed Zikri Munajat from 1AR. Today, I want to present about why is the sky blue during the morning and why the sky become orange in the evening.
The intonation is really surprised me, because actually he is really good in, you know, use his vocal. Okay, so and then this third video is from a girl as well. I It is surprising that this girl really into online gaming, and it makes me proud, a little proud, because when playing the game, she can, you know, relate what she play with what she is learned in physics class. So she remember in her game there is this one scene where the sky changed from blue to yellow. So she used this scene to explain why the sky appear blue and why the sky appear red in the afternoon and in the evening, accordingly. Okay, so in the video, she used the character to explain. Okay, I am proud of her because she actually thinking of physics while playing game. So it's a good thing. Okay, right. So and many of the students ask me to do the same things, explaining the same thing, but they want to be in a group. So because I don't know about other country, but in Malaysia, they are trending videos, trending, you know, challenge and things like that. So I let them to do the video in group and let them, you know, use their creativity to explain the same thing, and they really like to do, you know, you can see their trick.
Noon and set happens because of the position of the sun. Oh.
Sun closer to us at noon.
Sun further to
Earth at evening.
The rainbow has 7 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet.
the red, orange, and yellow color is classified as reddish color, while the blue, indigo, and violet color is classified as bluish color.
The reddish color has a longer wavelength, while the bluish color has a shorter wavelength.
All 7 colors come together as one light.
The tiny air particles causes the blue light to be scattered from
The white light produced by the sun makes the sky appear blue. Reddish light travels further, sky appear reddish.
Okay, so because they want to do it in a group, so they make the video to be continuous. I like the trick. Okay, so here are the 7 skills that students really need to, you know, develop. Okay, they must be curious, they must collaborate, agile, and can be adapt to any situation. To be critical, because for example, it is estimated that, for example, today students, when they graduate, they will not do the job that whatever they learn, because it's going to be a very different job out there by the time you guys graduate. Okay, so I recap a little bit about what I have shared. So student must experience whatever they learn. Okay, teacher need to let the student observe, ask question. So we teachers just need to guide them to do the project. We just facilitate them, let them do the decision and solve the problem. Okay, so we really want to develop student to be innovative and creative. Okay, here is the one of my example during for the students in 15 and 16 years old. They are learning about refraction. Alhamdulillah, during that day, the weather was so good, so I let them to go outside to be at the pool. Okay, so they are learning refraction. Okay, so during this lesson, I let the student to hold my phone and record the video, and they themselves record and edit the video. During this lesson, my 3 skills that I want them to develop is collaboration, and communication, and then experience. Okay, experiential learning. Okay.
Where is it actually? Kat belakang sikit. Kat situ ah.
Okay, so this is one of the concept that I really want students to understand. When we look at something, it's not from our eyes to the object. It's actually from the object into our eyes. By understanding, by remembering this concept, students can explain a lot of things in the light topic. If they don't understand about this, if they keep believing that when they look at things, it's from them to the object, they cannot explain the light phenomena correctly. Okay, so from this, the student edit the video that when we look at things, because the food is in the water, so actually light is refracted, so light change direction. So here light change direction and then into our eyes. Okay, but our brain interpret that when we look at things, we interpret that the light is coming from a straight line. That's why we think that the food is here. But actually, when we look objects in the water, for example, fish or the bottom of the pool, actually, it is much deeper than what we see. Okay. All right, I will go faster if it's 9 o'clock already. Okay. Okay, so my fourth point is assessment. So in Malaysia, do we have any question? So in Malaysia,
Yes, yes, Mr. Shafiq.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it's not about light topic.
Okay.
Should I ask or not? Should I read the question or not?
Okay, yes, please.
Okay. From Kakai Wasuda, take an example of displacement. There are several questions to get displacement depending on what is given. Using the equations to define displacement, how it would be.
Okay, so it's the same topic like this. Okay, so to define displacement, okay, so displacement usually the students tend to think that displacement we take it for granted because we think displacement is 1 meter, 1 centimeter, or things like that. But if we look at displacement, for example, on the ruler, okay, so on the ruler, if this is very important actually, because sometimes by not understanding this, students read the, for example, the protector wrongly, because in the protector here is 0, here is 180, here is 90, for example. And then when I ask them to show what is 10 degree, they will read from 0 to 10 degree. That is not wrong, but in, for example, in light topic, a lot of reading take from 90, and then if I ask them to show me 10 degree, they cannot, many of them cannot, you know, not realize that it is from 90 to 100 degree. Okay, so same thing. For example, if we are measuring a pen, okay, we can start it from 0 until, for example, 15 cm. Okay, that means it is 15 cm length, 15 cm long. But we can, you know, we can start from whatever, for example, from 5 cm to 20 cm. Okay, so distance means a length from one point to another, from one point to another. And displacement, so in physics, there are difference between distance and displacement, where distance is just whatever you need from one point to another, whether in centimeter, meter, kilometer. But displacement, we need to have a direction. Okay, so the same thing put here, but we need to add direction. For example, due to west, or you know, 10 degree from north, things like that. Okay, so so if we look at the equation, displacement as displacement, we really need to substitute, for example, here 20 cm minus 5 cm. So here is the change in position. Okay, so the question is about my point in the slide that I said students need to understand from equation, and then they can recreate the definition. Okay, so there is no equation to remember for displacement and distance, but they need to realize, to know the distance and displacement, they need to substitute. Okay, so that means there is the change, right? Thanks a lot for the question. Okay, my fourth point of this sharing session is about assessment. Okay, so in this slide, I use the term formative assessment and summative assessment. That means formative assessment is, you know, the development assessment. It can be a simple question. For example, I'm teaching them the equation, and then I simply ask them, do you understand it or not? That is the just a simple assessment for the student to realize, okay, I think I understand that. Okay, that is for the student, so they reflect whether they understand or not. And for the teachers as well, as our feedback. Okay, so when the student asks, when the student answer, yes, I understand, so the teacher can feedback, okay, this student understand. Or for example, the second student answer, I think I understand. Okay, and so the teacher can have a feedback that, okay, these students not really understand it. I will try to, you know, reconstruct my explanation. Okay, so assessment is important for both the students and the teachers, right? All right, if you guys like, we can try to play some quiz. So in this case, I will use quizzes. Okay, so you guys can scan the QR code, or you can enter joinmyquiz.com and then you enter this number 784463. Okay, if you guys want. Natasha, do we have time for this?
I think we have time.
Okay, so if give time, I can start the session.
Yeah, sure. Someone is comment would be lovely to play.
Okay. I will wait for maybe 2 minutes and then I will start the quiz. Oh, we already have 4 participants right now. Okay, it is a very, because I don't know what my participants this sharing participant is, so I asked a very simple question about motion. Okay.
Yeah, the participants need 1 minute.
Okay, 1 more minute. All right. Okay, we can see, so by using quizzes, we can see their name appearing in the front of our class. Okay, so some of them really like to play their emotion, because I think on your screen, everybody's screen, there is some yes, we can see let's go and things like that. So yes, can we see some more emotion? So we have let's go, and I don't know what's okay, we have snow, love, things like that, right? So I will start the question. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. Okay, start. I will just mumble while you guys are answering question. So different to Kahoot, quizzes have its own strength. Okay, so the teachers can see the students' development on the screen. Okay, the teacher can tell whether the student answering, oh, we have 1 wrong, we got 5 right, things like that. And quizzes automatically give the accuracy on the screen. Okay, this is a really easy question. I hope you guys can answer it. I'm okay if you guys want to be more fun and got it wrong. Mrs. Perfect got it wrong. Alright, nice, Amanda and BM. Wow, no, is jumping there. Mike Oxlong as well. So during this session, teacher can go around the class and see whether the student really answering the question seriously or not. And if they being too playful, teacher can end the session anytime they want. It is really a good time for me to go around the class, have a chat and things like that. Okay, Samanda is leading. During my class, I'm okay to play music, just a soft sound. I think music helps students to learn as well. Nice, Amanda leading. Nobody can catch you now. Oh no, my Oslong is jumping. Nice one, nice one. Nice, guys, nice. 70% accuracy. That's not bad. My Oslong suddenly leading the group. Okay, nice one, Samantha. You finished the quiz. Wali Rajabov is coming to the second place. Oh, Odil Bang. Oh, cut off by Shah Jahan. Nice. You still got, can catch up, Wali Rajabov. You can catch up. Just 1,000 points behind Mike Oxlong. Nice one, Shah Jahan. Okay. Okay. I think it's okay for me to stop the game now. Right, I will stop the game. Okay. Alright. So that's the winner. You guys can take picture if you want. Okay. So you know, during this session, a quiz, teacher got opportunity to, you know, take some time to advise the student. Some of the students might be naughty to, you know, put a naughty name there, things like that. So we can advise the students, and yeah, you know, we can take the opportunity to, you know, advise more than about physics. All right. So thanks a lot, guys. Congratulations to Shah Jahan, Mike, Vali, Tetamu for leading, and everyone who participate. Okay. So the accuracy is 50%. All right, thank you. All right, I will continue. Hope you guys enjoy the quizzes. I will mute this side. I think you guys really like it. I will mute it. Okay, thanks a lot. All right. So that is one of the tools that I use in class, quizzes and Kahoot. I use both of them a lot. Okay, both of them got their own strength. Okay, for example, Kahoot, I can stop the question anytime I want, and I can take the opportunity to explain about the question. So quizzes, I cannot do that because the question is on everyone's phone. So you know, they got their own screen. They can answer the question at their own pace. So yeah, both of them is good, right? Okay. So here is the very latest example. In MRSM Kuala Kelawang, we allowed the students to bring their gadget to class. Okay, so there, of course, there is pros and cons. So if I will just simply ask them to collect the phone to put in front. But yeah, I can make use of the phone for them to answer the Kahoot, to do the Google, and sometimes, for example, when I am sick, I am on medical leave, I can still do the class from home. So it's quite convenient for me. So in this example, this guy, Surya, the third place, Surya, he is really proud of his achievement, where he can beat the whole class to get number 3. Okay, because to be honest, he is actually a very naughty guy in the class. So you know how naughty guys is very proud of his achievement. So the whole class is recording the result. Okay, so if my principal is watching, I'm really sorry if this class is very noisy during my session. Okay, and I believe that's the best for them. Let them, express whatever their feeling is. Okay, so the importance of assessment is really a process. Like I said, for both the teacher and the student, it is designed to support learning. For example, if my class I am teaching them to fly, so I need to develop them from crawling to walking to running and then to fly. Okay, so I need to design my lesson to tailor everyone, because there is no one approach to suit them all. Okay, so at the start of the unit, I try to find what is this guy prior knowledge, what is the second guy prior knowledge. Whatever the first guy know might not be known by the second guy. Okay, so the yellow one, during the unit, I try to find a lot of feedback from Kahoot, from quizzes, from their notebook, from collaborating with their friends. So it's like teacher is like a GPS, when we navigate, when we are driving, when we navigate whether the student is going to the right direction or not. Okay, so and my last point for tonight is that I really encourage students and teacher uh, to be connected through social media as well. Okay, because you know um, students are at school for whatever hour it is, maybe 8 hours, or for, in my example, boarding school, in their class maybe for 9 hours. But social media is really big part of the student's life. Okay, we cannot stop them from going into social media, and as a teacher and as students, you guys really need to be connected to your teacher through social media as well. Okay, because you know, for example, as a teacher, we need to build rapport. Because we need to follow student on social media, um, in our professional account. Okay, so so that we can see what's in their life, in their social media life, because whatever hour they spend on us is really a tiny bit from their hour in the social media. By following them in social media, we know the students, we know whatever happens in their life, we know what they are interested, we know what's happening to them. For example, whatever happened during the weekend, we need to take it into consideration in our Monday lesson, because if not, we cannot relate what we teach to their real life situation. Okay, and I think it's really important for teacher to be on social media as well, because we want to build digital citizens. If we let the students to be on social media with their friends only, or with whatever persons out there, they might not be a good digital citizens. Okay, so like I said, IR 4.0 is really about data. So we really need to build a students that is very professional, very good personalities on social media as well. So we encourage teacher to be on social media with the student as well. Okay, because right now we can see cases like cyberbully, we can see cases like a lot of bad cases on social media. So teacher is really a good person to facilitate the student on social media as well. Okay, I have my Instagram, Facebook. I'm not on TikTok, but I'm following guys on TikTok. Okay, so here are the example that I post on Instagram, how I encourage students to make a promise to their parents. Okay, so I make a physical quantities lesson and I record it on Instagram, and at the end I let the student to make a promise to their parents because they are in boarding school. I ask them to promise that we will study hard, and right now these guys is sitting for final SPM. It is the biggest exam in secondary school, SPM, Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia. Okay, that was when they are 12 or 13 years old. Okay, right now they are 17 years old. Okay, the second video, these guys are already in the university. So I was teaching them about Bernoulli. Okay, Bernoulli is really a fascinating phenomena where we can see, like a magic, the ball is floating, and we can see we can make an experiment where object can move by themselves. All right. So few recaps from me. So student education is the most important element in building a country, in building a peaceful world. Okay, so students need to realize they are facing 21st century learning. So a lot of skills are required, for, especially in science, technology, English, and math. So the best way to learn science is from experiential learning. So you need to create memory. Whatever you are learning in class, you need to create one good memory, or one bad memory also memorable. Okay, bad or good memory, both are memorable. So both are good. Okay, IR 4.0, Industrial Revolution 4.0 is now, and we need to value the data. We need to know how to analyze every data in our life. Okay, so teacher must do assessment. Student, whatever teacher asks, whatever they ask you to do, you need to complete. It is good for you and the teacher as well. Okay, so we need to connect to each other. So for example, this sharing session is a very good start. Thanks a lot. Again, to School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing, Informatics and Media, Agency of Presidential Education Institution Uzbekistan, Persama, which is Malaysian Mathematical Sciences Society, for inviting me to the second STEM webinar series. For the end, I present to you the latest competition from my student. They enter the robotic competition, the national level. Okay. I'm sorry if the music is too loud. I cannot control it. The second one is their second video. The same girls they are 15 years old. So last from me, so we can see from the video, it is a robotic competition, but they need to have other skills other than the robotic skills. They need to edit video and things like that. So 21st century learning, we really need to equip ourselves with a lot more skills than just sit down in class. With that, I thank you so much, and forgive me for any mistake. Again, I emphasize I'm not the best person for this, but I really thank you for the opportunity for me to be part of this webinar series. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Natasha.
Thank you, Mr. Shafiq, for an interesting talk and your valuable insights. So I think we don't have much question. All question has been answered by you just now. Just from side back, he asked that, can you give your Instagram profile, Mr. Shafiq? Maybe they are interested to know on your Instagram content.
Okay. I'm not sure. I think on I'm not sure because I think on the video it is Shafiq underscore Sulaiman. I think that's the one. I will recheck.
Shafiq underscore Sulaiman.
Yep, Shafiq underscore Sulaiman. I really didn't separate my personal account to my professional account because I want to, you know, educate my students that although in social media we can recreate a lot of infinitely many profile that we want, but you are who you are. So I just create one profile. I think that is my profile. Shafiq underscore Sulaiman. Yep. Shafiq underscore Sulaiman. All right. Thanks a
So
lot.
any session, any other question, you can still submit questions if either through Webex chat panel or through the comment section in YouTube. Okay, if there is no any question, I proceed. Okay, thank you again, Mr. Shafiq, for answering those questions before and for the meaningful sharing. So now we will
My
have a
pleasure.
group photo session. So all participants are required to turn on the camera and ready for the session. Can everyone turn on the camera, please? Dr. Normi, are you ready? Okay, everyone please smile. Okay, it might take a while because there are 100 participants.
Oh.
Okay, I think we are done. Thank you for being so cooperative. So the link or QR code of the feedback onto the event is available in the Webex chat panel and also on the YouTube comment section. So please fill in the feedback form and we would appreciate if you can complete that and provide your feedback for our future improvement. So I think we have come to the end of this webinar now. On behalf of the College of Computing, Informatics and Media, UiTM, I want to thank our honorable speaker, Mr. Muhammad Shafiq. It was a pleasure to have you with us today. So thank you for all for attending this webinar. We hope you have learned and enjoyed the presentations. We look forward to seeing you again in our next webinar session on 2nd February 2023. Sorry?
Give me the one, chat. My URL version copy.
Okay, we look forward to seeing you again in our next webinar session on 2nd February 2023 with an exciting topic in biology. So again, thank you for joining us today. Goodbye and have a great weekend. Assalamualaikum.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thanks for
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Okay, thank you semua. Sorry kelam kabut lah ni. Okay, jumpa lagi masa biologi ya.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Natasha.
much. Okay, thank you, Doktor.
Thank you, Natasha, for good for